everyone, it's Sharonda from Pay Your Weights, and today I'm going to be reviewing Moon Knight, which is the latest Marvel series to hit the Disney Plus streaming platform. This series stars Oscar Isaac. Ethan Hawke as Moon Knight centers around Stephen Grant, a mild-mannered gift shop employee that becomes plagued with memories and blackouts of another life. He discovers he has dissociative identity disorder and shares a body with mercenary Mark Spector. As Stephen and Mark's enemies begin to converge upon them, they must navigate their complex identities while also being thrust into a deadly mystery amongst the powerful gods of Egypt. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came, I hope you stay. I'll tell you what I liked about the series, what I didn't like about the series, and is it worth your time or not watching Moon Knight as it makes its premiere on Disney Plus on March 30th, with new episodes airing weekly thereafter. I just want to give a shout out to Disney, who let your girl watch the first 4 episodes of the 6-episode season of Moon Knight. Thank you so much. This will be a spoiler-free review. I'm not going to spoil anything. We're all about protecting people's viewing experiences over here. But I do want to let you know, I also had the pleasure, the greatest opportunity ever to have an interview with Oscar Isaac as we chatted a little bit about how he prepared for his role in this series. So make sure, you know, after you watch this, go ahead and watch that too, because you're going to have a good time. So going into what did I enjoy about this series? And one of the first things that I do want to say is I have to give props to Oscar Isaac. I think that he does such a fantastic job. Just the acting in this series is just so top-notch. And Oscar Isaac, he's so good. Like, I don't need to convince you guys that Oscar Isaac is a good actor, but what I will say, there is a lot of physicality that comes into his role in the series. You know, as this person who is suffering from, you know, he has dissociative identity disorder, he has to play a lot of different moving parts. As we get to see him as Mark Spector, as we get to see him as Stephen Grant, we see that there's a clear change from even just the mannerisms that you see. He's playing these dual characters, and just the way that he has to really act amongst himself as he's having this internal battle of trying to understand the complexity of what it is to live with 2 different identities. And then you thrust the whole point that he is Moon Knight at the same time, and you really get to see how much range that he has as an actor, how much range that this role alone allows him to show just what a talent he is. I just think that from the physicality, not only just the action sequences that he's in this series, but even just those moments where you just get to see that inner glimpse of what it's like for Stephen and Mark to really have this battle between these 2 distinctly different people. And even touching upon that, the fact that this character sheds a light on mental illness, and really is just one of those moments where you actually get to see it from that person's point of view. You know, I think they do a really great job of helping you understand what that could be like, the best way that you possibly could show someone. But also, too, it shows you really just how society treats those who have mental illness, how you kind of lose your sense of agency, how people might sometimes gaslight you, how they just won't believe you, how they just second guess you as a human being because you have this mental illness that you're still learning to manage. And I really appreciate this series on tackling that and just giving even more kudos to Oscar Isaac, who just does a beautiful job of portraying just the inner turmoil between Mark and Stephen as they're really trying to live their separate lives. Now also too, I will have to say, it was very refreshing just to watch a Marvel series that didn't feel like a Marvel series. I know it was a lot that happened after Endgame, y'all, but if I had to hear about this blip one more time, I was gonna lose it. I was just like, can these shows just have their own identity outside of the greater MCU? Now, this could either be a pro or con of how you look at it. For me, I just really like that Moon Knight just had his own feel to it, had his own swag. It just felt like it's its own type of series that just exists within the MCU that doesn't necessarily have to connect to all of the 15 million other shows or movies, you know, that have come out before it. Now, some people can feel that this might be challenging. You might not necessarily know where does Moon Knight actually fall within the MCU timeline. But for me, it was actually a breath of fresh air. And also, too, there's a lot of different genres within this series. There is horror. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I had to start watching it like as we get into the latter half of the season. I had to start watching it during the day because I was like, y'all, this is too much for my spirit. I thought I was watching a comic book series, but this is starting to get scary. It was some horror elements to it. Even within the first episode, I was just like, you know what? We're just going to switch to daytime viewing because I don't need this. I don't need to disrupt my spirit like this. But also, too, it's a fun adventure. You're going to hear a lot of people say that it gave Mummy vibes. And it really did give Mummy vibes. And The Mummy is like one of my favorite franchises from back in the day. I'm not going to say whether or not they live up to that Mummy, okay, because I have it on a high pedestal. But it definitely does give you the Mummy vibes as we're in. It's kind of like an adventure film. Also, too, there's some comedy in the series as well. But I think they do a really great job of balancing back and forth between these different genres. And it actually makes it a little bit more appealing to watch. It's more engaging, and it always keeps your attention. There's some fun things that happen, you know, within the first episode, and especially as they delve deeper into this mystery that is unfolding for them. I will say that there's some fun moments that happen throughout the course of these first 4 episodes that I saw. Also, too, what I will say is F. Murray Abraham, who plays Khonshu, his voice acting, he's just dope as hell anyway. But I really loved him as that choice for Khonshu's voice. I just think that there's just this like menacing factor that he brings to it, but also too, like, it makes you feel as though like you're hearing the voice. Like, I was like, hold on, is Khonshu talking to me, or is he talking to Stephen or Mark? Like, what's happening right now? Because I feel like he's speaking to me, and I don't know if I like that right now. But I really love it. Just adds to, you know, the heightened anxiety, you know, that Stephen and that Mark is experiencing as they have this guide constantly in their head and their inner thoughts at all times. And I really love how they delve into that and how they showcase that during the series as well. I think that's pretty much everything. Yes, watch for Oscar Isaac. Now, I know y'all about to say, now, Sharana, you're not going to talk about Ethan Hawke. I did like Ethan Hawke's character. Ethan Hawke is just a fantastic actor, you know, as a whole anyway. But this is actually going to lead me into some of the minor issues that I do have with the series. I felt as though I don't really know who Ethan Hawke's character is as within how his character fits in with this series. You understand what Arthur Harrow is trying to do, but you don't necessarily fully understand the motivations. It just feels like there's a backstory that's kind of missing from his character. And I will say, because this series takes a little bit more liberties than what many would be used to within the Moon Knight comics, I needed a little bit more of that explained to really help me understand, like, which version of these characters are we actually getting within this Moon Knight series. Now, also, too, we got the first 4 episodes, which there are a lot of things that happen. There are things that are revealed within the first 4 episodes, but because there were only 2 episodes left from where I left off in episode 4, I was kind of like, I don't know how y'all finna wrap this up in 2 episodes. Like, how we wrapping this up in 2 hours? Because I feel like a lot just happened, and I don't necessarily know if 2 hours is enough time to flesh all of this out while still giving us backstories to characters that I still feel need a little bit more fine-tuning. And also, too, as we're uncovering another part of this mystery, I just don't know if 2 episodes are enough. But that's just kind of the feeling that I had after I finished episode 4. But hey, you never know. They can like wrap it up in a nice pretty bow, and I might be okay with it. But right now, I'm a little scared. I'm just a little apprehensive, just a little bit, just a little teensy tiny bit. Also, too, I don't know if you guys will care about this or not. There's not a ton of Moon Knight. I just want to set y'all up with like realistic expectations. But Oscar Isaac is still so fun to watch as he's navigated between these 2 different characters that was okay for me. But it is a series titled Moon Knight, so some people might have issue with that. So I just want to set you up with the right expectation, okay? I don't want you to get your hopes up thinking that you're going to just see a whole bunch of Moon Knight, because you're not. So, the last thing, a lot of people are going to find this nitpicky, and it's okay, but you know me, I always got to talk about representation. That's just who I am and who I'm still going to be. For a show that centers around the Egyptian gods, and for a show that takes us to Egypt, I just felt like, it's just like a lot of non-Egyptian people in this series for this to be so heavily involving Egyptian gods, and like we're in Egypt, and I just didn't feel like it reflected that world. So I tried to like ignore it, but as we got deeper and deeper into like the mythology and deeper into, you know, being immersed into this world, I was just like, this don't sit right in my spirit no more, y'all. I just feel like something just needs to be said. And given like, because they actually do have like May Kalamwi, I think she's Palestinian and Egyptian. I don't know. I just wish there was just more people that just reflected this world that we're talking about. It just didn't make sense to me. I know in the comics that, you know, the characters are the characters and they're not necessarily all Egyptian either. But I just feel like if we're going to be immersed into this world and this world is actually coming to life, that it should have just reflected the world that we actually do live in. But overall for me, I still had a good time watching Moon Knight, y'all. Don't let the look eyes worry you. I still had a good time overall watching Moon Knight. I just think it's a really fun ride, and it's just something fresh, new, and different that doesn't necessarily feel like the MCU. And I think for me, this is the type of show I've been waiting on, just to be different, to be bold, to not necessarily fall into that formulaic MCU type of show or MCU type of movie. And I'm very interested to see what they will have to do with Moon Knight after this. How will Moon Knight actually fit into the greater MCU universe? And I'm actually happy that I can't quite tell what route they want to go. I'm actually okay with that. But overall for me, I would tell you, definitely watch Moon Knight. If you just want to watch something that's different from the other MCU, series that we've seen so far on the Disney Plus streaming platform, I think you will have a good time. If you love Oscar Isaac or Ethan Hawke, you're going to have a great time. It's just, I had some fun, y'all. I had some fun. I'm really interested to see how everybody's going to feel about the season premiere this Wednesday. I will be doing after shows each week and recapping every single episode, so don't you worry. This is not the last that you're going to see with me, or if this is the last you want to see from me, I'm sorry, y'all. But those are my thoughts on Moon Knight. As always, my name is Sharona from Para Waits, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000, and until I see you again,